Today, Christmas Eve, viewers, there's one man who has gone out of his way to block UFO research. No, it's not actually me, but a number of you who left very rude personal comments about me being a debunker on the recent Chris Leto interview thought it was me. But in fact, it's Nick Pope. Actually, it's not Nick Pope either. Nick Pope obviously worked at the MOD and for a short time ran the UFO desk. But Nick has revealed that in the Ministry of Defense, in the higher echelons right up to the Queen herself, there was an influencer who thought UFOs were demons. The government failed to properly investigate UAP in the 90s over fears they were caused by demonic forces, the UK's leading expert has claimed. Nick Pope, who led the Ministry of Defence's UFO desk between 91 and 94, has said that the then Chief of Defence, Lord Hill Norton, stopped investigating sightings after being influenced by a controversial priest. There are also similar beliefs in the US government, he added, with politicians and officials frequently deferring to the Bible when the issue of UFOs, now officially called UAP, arises. It's counterintuitive that some officials' resistance to taking UAP seriously comes not from hard-nosed, science-minded skeptics who think that studying the subject is a waste of government time and money, but from a faction that believes UAPs are real, but demonic. Nick Pope went on to say this stems in part from a biblical description of Satan as being the prince of the power of the air. A quotation from the book of Ephesians. The notion that flying objects in the sky may have a religious origin is a long-standing theory amongst UFO enthusiasts. However, the secretly held belief that UFOs are neither classified military operations, hostile nations, or even visitors from another planet, but demonic forces, is stifling adequate research into the issues. The thinking seems to be that if UFOs are some sort of demonic manifestation, engaging with it feeds them by giving them energy, and should therefore be avoided. Nick went on to say this was likely to have been a factor in something reported by Pentagon UFO investigator Louis Elizondo. He said that when trying to get a senior defense official engaged on a subject, he was rebuffed by the officer who told him to go and read his Bible. I saw a similar thing in the UK, when the former Chief of Defence Staff, Lord Hill Norton, who I briefed on several occasions, fell increasingly under the influence of a maverick priest, Paul Inglesby, who believed the phenomenon was demonic. Reverend Inglesby began his career in the military, joining the Navy and fighting in World War II. While serving, he was struck down with a severe illness and suffered extreme hallucinations, which would later go on to inform his views on UAP. He also claimed to have had an out-of-body journey to Mars. After leaving the Navy and joining the church, he garnered significant influence over a number of high-profile public figures, including the then Earl Mountbatten, Prince Philip's uncle. This was particularly unfortunate, said Nick Pope, because Lord Hill Norton was arguably the leader of what might be called a believer faction in the establishment. I've dug more into the life of Paul Inglesby, fascinating figure. The best story ever was that Inglesby actually tried to influence Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip in not going to see the film Close Encounters of the Third Kind because the end scene happened at Devil's Tower, and he believed that the film included demonic messages and might brainwash our former queen. Ugh. I find that really fascinating because I've heard in the US there is a Christian lobby also pushing against UAP UFO research because they might be forces of the devil. Certainly Russell Targ, who started SRI, Stanford Research in Distant Viewing, he exploited our psychic powers to reach out and look for stuff distantly and maybe through time. That program was effectively closed down when lobby groups got to the CIA, who were funding it through taxpayers' money, and said, it's demonic. Oh, here's Wiley. Hey, And Wiley and I know that that project secretly moved to the United Kingdom. If you have ever worked in distant viewing in the UK, I want to know where it happened, what was the lab, is there a connection with Rendlesham? That was what I'm really angling for. So any information that doesn't compromise national security, as I always say, I would really appreciate. Enjoy this holiday, whatever your religious background is, even if you believe in demons, because the UFOs are really out there. I only said that to seal my fate as a demonic debunker.